Hey guys, Derium here with another Q&A session for you. I've got a couple more questions, 6 more, that I'll go ahead and answer. Keep sending them in to me, questions@deriums.com. Send me the comments here on YouTube. I should set up a Google Doc, so it's just a quick link, but I'm lazy, I'll get around to it. I'll try to keep this one a little bit shorter than last time, but I've gotten some really good reviews on this. You guys have told me via the comments, Facebook, even messages that you like this series, so we'll keep on going with it. I actually didn't expect that many people to enjoy it, so glad you did. Keep the questions coming so I can keep doing these. So we'll start right off to it. This comes from the Bombimbi from YouTube. Question number 1, when starting a store, what do you think is a good size and area in square feet to make a small one? To make a small one, it depends on what you want to do. You got to keep in mind for a store like this, a gaming store, a magic store, even a sports card store, not so much the sports cards, but gaming stores definitely, most of your area is going to be eaten up by tables. You should be seeing a picture right now of, let's say, I think 6 of our tables, and you get to see our very ever first sign that we had, that now we just have people sign when they come in. But that's 18 by 18 by 18 by 18 square feet right there to hold 24 people. It's a pretty large area. Now, because each table, they're 6 feet long, and then you're going to have room for people to get in and out and to make aisles. So usually it's about 6 by 9 feet. Typically will only hold 4 people. It's not much. So most of your square footage is going to be eaten up by that. So it depends what you want to do. If you just want to have a store front and not really worry about having people come play, you could get away with like a 500 square foot little like kiosk kind of thing. But if you want to do events and tournaments, for a small store, I would say 1,000 to 1,250 square feet you'll be great, because a lot of our product fits in a very small area, and you should be able to seat probably 40 people comfortably in a 1,250 square foot area. So if you're just trying to do some Friday Night Magics between 20, 30 people, maybe some pre-releases every now and then, if you cram them, 1,000 square feet would get you pretty well. But again, you can go a lot smaller than that. I can't really answer that question very well because we wanted to have enough seating for a bunch of people. We can cram almost 100 where we're at right now, and that includes our eBay area and all this. But again, let me show you another picture. Those are our cases. Now that's 960 different magic cards that we have room for in those cases. They're up on the wall. They take almost no space whatsoever. And when I mean 960 different magic cards, because each of those magic cards are inside of an acrylic case that can hold about 14 to 15 of the same card. So that's a large amount of magic cards in just that small area. And we have more cases than that. But you can cram a lot into a small area in a magic store. You should be seeing our display case now, or one of our display cases, just some deck boxes, I think some dice sets. Again, we just moved in, guys, so we're not completely set up yet. But that's a decent amount of deck boxes, dice, deck bags, dragon shields are in there. And again, it's a very small display case. So you don't need much room in a magic store or in a game store or sports card store if you just want to have a store and not worry about being a big tournament area. So it's not really a good enough answer, but I don't know exactly off the top of my head, sorry. Next one. What would you recommend a store specializing in, Pokemon or MTG? I've always liked Pokemon, but I never got into Magic. And then goes on the next question. Magic sells itself. You have to do Magic. We've got a Games Workshop store down the road. They do nothing but minis, but they sell Magic cards. The board game shop down the road, they sell Magic cards. Even Target's and Walmart sell Magic cards. They sell themselves. They really, really do. If you have any kind of sports card store, gaming store, comic store, you have Magic cards. Again, there's a comic store not far away from here. They sell Magic cards. And it's to a different degree. You can just have booster boxes up on your shelf, or you can do some singles. Even the miniature store does singles. They send everyone who goes in there for Magic cards, they say, hey, Derium's down the road, go down there. We've got an agreement where we're sending customers back and forth to each other. But they still sell them, and they still sell them consistently. And they charge pretty good, $3 per pack. It's not bad, but they sell them. So you have to have Magic. If you want to have a Pokemon store, you're going to find that niche group, because they're Pokemon. There's many, many Pokemon players. So definitely, you got to have Magic no matter what you do. Just put it on the shelf, it'll sell itself. As for other things like Pokemon, World of Warcraft, sports cards, it's going to depend on your area. You're going to have to feel that out. Next question. Is Magic the Gathering the item you sell the most? I've heard that Magic the Gathering is the most popular card game, so I was wondering if you make most of your profit from this. By far and away, yes, Magic. It's got the smallest profit margin, like I said, less than $2 per booster box in the original video, but it has the largest quantity. That's really what it is. Our highest percentage we make is sports cards, because, well, we open them and sell them, and sports cards go up in price really fast. It's a really weird market, sports cards are. But Magic, it sells. It goes. It's by far our most seller. Next one. How would you recommend finding out whether or not people in your area are into a certain card game or hobby? That's a good one if you haven't opened yet, because you're going to have to go around to other card shops and just see what they do, what they don't do, and just talk to the community. Now, if you're going to open a gaming store, I have to imagine you've got a group of friends that play the game. Ask them, have them ask their friends. What we did is, well, we knew Magic, but when we were getting to the other things, I knew World of Warcraft, whatever, but I sent out a lot of flyers to colleges and got them to come in. When they would come in, I would ask them, hey, are there any other games you guys play? This and that. Just kind of pick their brain a little bit, and that's when you get some ideas. But if you haven't opened yet, you're really just going to have to do the legwork yourself and find out what does the area not have. It's not easy, because even advertising this kind of store, what do? You can't run a commercial for this. Putting it in the newspaper, our clientele don't really read newspapers. We have smartphones now. Really, Facebook ads you could do. They're kind of expensive, and your clicks per how much you put in is not really worth it. It's even advertising this period it's a nightmare. Elementary schools, you can't really advertise that. Middle schools, there's some Pokemon players there, but still. High schools you can do some advertising at, but it's expensive to just sponsor an event, and most people don't even read who sponsors it. Colleges are where it's at, but most people don't let you do flyers there. I've got some ins. I found some people that work at colleges, so colleges are your best. It's very, very awkward. But you're just going to have to do your legwork, go to other card shops in a huge area and just see what are they missing, what's in demand, It's a bad answer, but I'm sorry. A bunch of bad answers today, sorry. Let's see, next one. Would you recommend selling comics as well, or is it best to stick with collectible series such as Pokemon, Magic, sports cards, Warhammer, etc.? All right, this one I'll elaborate a little bit on. Comics, yes. It's another thing that if you can do it, but you have to know what you're doing. You can't just buy a bunch of comics and let them sell themselves. People will show up for things like the free comic book day, but you got to be prepared for that. Well, it wasn't my SD card this time. It was the battery pack dying. I'm plagued with issues on the Q&A series. But anyways, there's free comic book day, which you have to prepare for. With comic books, it's very automated. You get like a book from the distributor, the main distributor, and again, I'll make an hour-long series about distributors someday. And you basically fill in what you want, how many you want, all this, all that. You submit it, and you submit like 2 months worth of what you want. You don't talk to a rep or anything, and they just start showing up at your door. It's kind of awkward. It's worth doing. You can pick it up kind of quick. You'll know what people want. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can just get, the Batman, just get whatever, the Superman, stuff that you know is good. And it should start selling. You can cram a lot of comic books in an area. I didn't get any pictures of our areas, which we still need a shelf built for that. But anyways, comic books, definitely. Let's see, what else was there? The sports cards, very, very select market on that. With sports cards, it's easy to burn yourself, but because people, all right, us sports card collectors, says us because I love them, we buy large quantities at a time, but we don't want open boxes, and a lot of times we don't even want open cases. When I buy my sports cards, it's by a sealed case. Usually they'll run like $1,000 a case, but I want to make sure that I get my case hit, all that. They're not searched, because there's a lot of people that search baseball cards. There's a lot of worry us sports card collectors have, because there's a lot of shady people out there that will search the boxes, weigh the boxes. I've heard of people doing stud finders on the boxes. A lot of weird stuff. So you're basically going to be doing that on an order by order basis. You're going to have customers come in and be like, oh, 2013 Topps Allen and Ginter's coming out. I'll take 3 cases of it. And again, it's going to be a razor thin margin if you do that. Sports cards is a lot about saying, oh, there's this Puig guy who has exploded in popularity, and this set has his autograph in it, and I locked it in on 5 cases for my distributor. You buy those cases, you sit on them for a couple months, possibly a couple years. Wait till they're 10 times the value they were. So unless you like sports cards or know what you're doing, make that your last priority if you even do it. I recommend not doing it. Leave it to the guys that own sports card stores only, because it's one hell of an industry to get into. But if you like sports cards, by all means do it, because hell, it's fun cracking those things. Warhammer is, the nature of that beast is insane. Games Workshop, who owns Warhammer, they will not let you post anything on eBay that you buy from them. You cannot put on a website even what you have. If you've got, let's say you start off with Skaven from Fantasy, and you're like, I'm going to have some Skaven guys and see if they sell, and I've got this this Grey Seer riding the Doom, or the Doom Bell. Yeah, it is a Doom Bell, isn't it? I don't know. I haven't played Fantasy in a while. But anyways, you can't be like, hey guys, I've got Grey Seers in stock. If you do that on your Facebook or even on your website, Games Workshop will not let you sell their stuff anymore. You can't do that at all. So it has to be by people walking in and seeing it. And Games Workshop will only allow certain stores within a radius to even sell their product. So if there's a Games Workshop store in your area, you can apply and be next in line in case they go out of business or move, but they're very, very strict. But if you get it, that's great money. Great markup too, and great money. Because again, I play Warhammer, 40K I've been playing a lot lately. We spend a lot of money on it. Granted, we spend a lot in chunks and then a little bit over time, but you'll find the clientele. If you can do Warhammer, do it. Miniature wargaming is not going dead anytime soon. Now, it's a large amount. When I told you $20,000 to open a gaming store before, that won't even scratch the surface of getting stocked for Games Workshop. It's expensive. It's hella expensive, but it's worth it if you can do it and your area needs it, because there's a lot of money to be made in that. But again, don't get excited. Don't start like licking your chops being like, oh my god, there's not a Games Workshop in the area, I'm going to open one as well. Don't do that. Do not take that. Don't do that, because I do not want to be held responsible if you're like, oh my god, I spent $100,000 on this and it's just not working. Just use common sense, people. Alright, so the last one. When selling singles, should you base prices off of eBay? Where should we base prices off of? Mention some card stores in there. We do a lot of off eBay, but in the store, again, we have overhead. On eBay, I've got one guy listing most of the time. Usually like 3 of us, but one dedicated guy listing auctions. And my overhead on eBay is just, I pay eBay $200 a month to have an anchor store, which is ridiculously expensive, by the way. But my overhead on eBay is one full-time employee plus an anchor store. So maybe $2,000 a month overhead, which is not bad. But in the physical shop, it's a lot more than that now. We have to make that margin. So you can look at a place like Star City Games, for example, which is like the Bible when it comes to Magic pricing, and tick it down like 10% under that, 25% under that, or even Star City pricing. We used to do mid-TCG player, but that varies way too much. You'll get like some store that's going to be like, hey, LOL, let's price Liliana of the Veil at $10,000, and now the medium price of Liliana is like $300. So it's not consistent enough to use. And we'll spec on cards a lot too. Like if the card's only like $2, Star City says $2, whatever, this and that, we'll be like, this is going to be a $10 card. We'll buy up all of them we can at $2 a piece from you even. We'll buy them off you at the price we would pay, spec on them, put them in the case later. People hate that though if you're just like, oh, here's a $10 card, when other places are only charging like $6 or $8. So we don't put it in the case based off of what we think it's going to be. We'll never go above Star City because, well, Star City is usually the most expensive. So I would say you could use something like Star City and be consistent with it, but run deals. Run like 25% off case deals someday. We do that a lot, and you'll be fine. Price off eBay, it fluctuates too much. It's just too hard to price. So I would say just pick a store you like, base it off them. And don't feel bad. You're not stealing. It's not copyright infringement. It's none of that. It's just, hey, they did legwork, they priced it, And most people who price it are pricing it based off of somebody else. Usually leads back to Star City Games anyways, let's be honest here. So those are those 6 questions. I didn't want to take up too much of your time this time. There's a couple other things I wanted to add, but I'll do another video for it. I want to keep getting your questions, so please, if you like this, just send me your questions. If you are going to open a game store or in the process of it, contact me personally. Call our store or send me an email. If you need any assistance whatsoever, I'll talk to you. I'm not the guru on game stores. I'm not the Gordon Ramsay of Kitchen Nightmares or anything like that. But I've done it. I've done that walk. I've been there. I was in the point where, like I said before, I thought, how the hell are we going to make money in this? I've had those sleepless nights, and I got over that hump. So I know what it feels like. I'll do whatever I can, answer whatever I can. As for everyone that likes the series, thank you. This is fun to sit in the camera and just ramble. I'll give you more stuff about just my store, my more personal background and all of that. I don't know what you guys want. Just tell me. If you want me just to ramble about the first couple months of opening the store and how crazy that was, I'll tell you that. My own personal feelings on things. It's whatever you guys want is what I'll deliver on these little Q&A sessions. Some of them might not have any questions and answers. So just drop me a line. Let me know. I feel like I'm forgetting something very important on this video. Crap. I really feel like I am. So sorry if I am, but hey, send me some more questions. Have a good one.